First video, so bear with me, but in this video hopefully I'll be able to explain how I made this map and some cool history stuff that goes along with this. Excuse my nasally voice. So let's get into it. So as you saw in the clips, I dyed it with coffee and then kind of ripped the edges to give it a textured look. I'm thinking about putting the Holy Roman Empire insignia on the top right and then putting the Holy Roman Empire as it was around 1000 AD-ish, just across the entirety of it. As a reference for the insignia, I'm using a art piece I saw by Hans Berkmer. He lived from 1473 to 1531, which I found really cool, on the top right, so you'll get to see that in a bit. Fun fact, some people argue that the Holy Roman Empire actually started in 800 AD under Charlemagne when he was crowned by Pope Leo III, while other people argue that Otto I was the first. Charlemagne, after he died, everything fell apart, so I understand that point. The insignia turned out pretty good, so I'm going to move on to the rest now. Interesting fact about the insignia of the Holy Roman Empire is it's based off ancient Roman heraldry. The bird is called a Reichsschleuder. That's in German, so I might have butchered that name, but yeah, and it was supposed to symbolize how they're the second coming of the Holy Roman Empire. And Otto, it wasn't necessarily Otto's, he wasn't the one that came up with it. It was Charlemagne, as stated before. That's partially why people argue that. And then, after Otto came into power, he was generally hated by most people since he wanted the king to have the most power and to be like the top dog. Just a quick button to tell you what I'm doing for the artwork. So I got the pencil down to my liking, and now I'm just going to line it with a .02 pen all around. I don't really do a complex pencil sketch, just enough so I know where I'm going, and then I just kind of eyeball it. Like 10 to 15 rebellions occurred right after he took power, as he tried to put the dukes down underneath him and to be ruled. Previously, before Otto was crowned, he was the Duke of Saxony and became King of East Francia, which is a Germanic area. And then he was finally crowned emperor in 962 AD by Pope John VII. Most people do have a general consensus that he was the first emperor. As an emperor, since he was Frankish, most people didn't like that, so he tried to present himself as Saxon as possible by dressing up, taking their customs, things like that. Even though he tried to do this, it took a while before he could unite all of the Germanic tribes underneath him, which was before 962, obviously, since he didn't roll over any of that until he took over it. But people like dukes were, as I stated before, really pissed off with him. An example of this is in 938, the rebellion of Thankmar, half-brother of Otto, Count Wichman, Archbishop Frederick of Mainz. They were put down, but this is just an example. It occurred again in like 939 by Eberhard Gilbert, Duke of Lorraine, and King Louis IV of West Francia. Until they were also put down. He didn't like killing them, but he did like putting them down for obvious reasons. I have the outline done now, and now hopefully going to give as best an estimate of the countries like Germany, Poland, Albania, Italy, and then France to the left, like how they shaped into it during the time that the Holy Roman Empire existed. Hopefully it'll look pretty decent, and then I'll probably do rivers, a few important towns and cities, and a bit more history. One of Otto's greatest achievements, or at least the most amount of land he gained, was in 951 when he came to the aid of Queen... these are really complex words for me, because I'm white, but Adelaide, the widowed queen of the Italian king who had recently died, and defeated her enemies. After this, he was able to grab power and became ruler of a large swath of Italy. There were still the Papal States, I believe. I'll have to double check myself, but I believe the Papal States were still taking over a large part. I'm probably wrong, but I have the outline done, and now I gotta fill in like the mountains and details, as I stated before, cities and the borders, rivers, stuff like that. Sadly, after the Ottonian family, which is Otto's family line, fell in around 1100, each family after them, after a bit, just got weaker and weaker and more corrupt, and this led to Napoleon in the 1800s just absolutely destroying them, and in 1806 the empire fell for good. I could work on it a bit more, but I think I'm done now. I hope you guys liked it and learned some fun history stuff. Still don't have the highest quality research, but I'm trying to learn where to get like first person sources and stuff, though that's very hard given how long ago it was and the degrading of stuff, but copied stuff. If you want to like, subscribe to all that stuff, go ahead if you want, and hopefully I'll post soon. See ya.